Hi everybody. So this is me about 19 days post-op from total joint replacement and with a LeFort and a lower jaw advancement and a genioplasty, which is the chin augmentation, as well as partial turbinectomy. So this is the first day that I've had kind of the energy to do a video, and I've wanted to update everybody since the surgery. So first of all, to thank those of you who offered prayers and good vibes and thoughts and everything that you sent for me to your higher power and to our God. I just am so grateful because there were some complications that came up in the surgery that were unexpected, but Dr. Wolford did an amazing job, and the recovery is slow but good. And here I am 19 days post-op, and I'm home, and I'm feeling well enough to actually put on a little bit of makeup and touch base with you guys. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about in this video what happened in the surgery, what was done, to show you in the x-rays kind of what's done. As you can tell, I look different. If you go back to the first two videos, you'll see that I do look a little different from the LeFort and the lower jaw advancement. And Dr. Wolford had told me prior to surgery, he said, you kind of need to prepare yourself mentally because you will look a little different. He said that I'll look, better because my face will be more symmetrical, whatever. But I'm happy with the way it turned out. But I will say it's different. It's different to look at yourself in the mirror and to not see the face that you've seen for 47 years and to see a different face. So it's just a new normal and getting used to my new face. So anyway, I wanted to tell you, so yeah, like I said, the surgery was on February 1st of this year, 2018, and Dr. Larry Wolford in Dallas, Texas did it at Baylor Medical Center. He told me the surgery was going to be about 8 hours. It ended up being about 10. They had a complication in the beginning. There was an hour that they spent trying to intubate me. During surgeries, you have to be intubated. And typically when you do oral maxillofacial surgery, you're intubated through the nose. But they were having difficulty because there was so much, I think because my airway had become so small because my lower jaw was pushing back against it, as well as the hardening in my nose had, my turbinates had solidified the bone. So it took Dr. Wolford and the anesthesiologist, Dr. Simon, an hour to intubate me because they almost did a tracheotomy, which I'm very grateful that they did not. He had told me prior to surgery that that's a possibility that they might run into, and I had agreed to that. But I'm glad that they spent an hour trying to intubate me, which they did successfully. Because there's risks that come with getting a trach. So anyway, so that was a complication that came up. And another complication that came up during the surgery was that Dr. Wolford had seen in August of 2017, when I had first seen him for a consult, that my turbinates in my nose were enlarged. And so he told me that he would do a partial turbinectomy. And typically, your turbinates, he told me they're supposed to look like Swiss cheese, with the little holes in it, and that's what helps you breathe. And I had never been a nose breather like you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be a nose breather. I'd always been a mouth breather, and I couldn't breathe very well through my nose. Well, when he got in to surgery in February, so just between August, when I saw him for my consult, and in February, my turbinates had actually solidified to solid bone, so there was no air getting in through there at all. So that was a surprise to him, and so he had to chisel and work and do a lot more there than was expected. But overall, what was done was like I said, the turbinectomy was done, so he was able to do the chiseling and everything that he had to do to get my turbinates where they need to be so that I can breathe through my nose. So now I can breathe really, really well and smoothly through my nose. He put in brand new titanium joints that were customized to my jaw. and I will actually show you. Well, I'll show you the picture in just a second. So the joints here are now made by TMJ Concepts out of California, and they do not go off when I go through a metal detector, and I'm still able to have an MRI with these concepts. So these are titanium. I did not show a high allergy to nickel, so I did not have to get the specialized joints that some people have to get when they have a high allergy to nickel. So I've got new joints here. He did a LeFort one, which is where he cut. This was a huge difference, and this is really why I looked so much different. He cut. I don't know if I can show you. I can't really show you. But up here, he cut at the very top of my jaw here. He cut, and then he took a saw, and he sawed this. And then basically, he cut a lot of that space that had been there out. If you go back to my previous videos, and you'll see my smile was really gummy, because you could see all this gum up here, because my upper jaw was down way too far. So what he did was, he ended up cutting a lot of that bone out and then moving my upper jaw up. So it's able to be up. So now when I smile, which is still hard to do, it's not even a full smile because I haven't regained all of my muscle or nerves back since surgery, because a lot of them are still numb. Most of them are still numb. But at least I can smile a little bit. And the smile that I have now shows a lot less gum. But that was just cosmetic, but the LeFort was necessary in order to get my jaw back up to where it needs to be. And then he advanced my lower jaw forward 18 millimeters. And then along with that, he did a genioplasty, which is a chin augmentation. So I didn't have much of a chin because my lower jaw was pushed so far back. So he advanced the lower jaw forward 18 millimeters, which is quite a bit. And then he actually, instead of doing an implant for a chin, he cut my chin right here. And then he took that bottom part and moved it forward a little bit. And there's an attachment. So I'm going to show you here in this picture. Here you can see the implant right here. And that has all the screws. This has the genioplasty. That's my chin with the little steel bolt that's keeping my chin there together. So he moved this jaw, this is my lower jaw, forward, and this is my upper jaw, and this is what he cut here. So this is just showing my profile. So I've got two here, and these are two bolts and screws that are holding my upper jaw back up to my skull to heal. So that's why I can't chew right now, because I can't put any pressure on that. So this shows this side, and then clearly on the other side I've got two other bolts. So I've got 4 bolts, like 1, 2, 3, 4, healing this. And then I had stitches all up in here and also all down in here, which a lot of those have gone away by now. But this is an example of, this is the finished kind of product. Here's from the viewpoint of the front. Clearly these are my braces, and there's the 4 bolts, screws, I don't know what the proper term is, keeping my upper jaw back up to my skull. And here's the 2 total joint replacement. Those are the 2 customized joints. And then you can't really see, at least not for me because I'm not a medical person, but the turbinates. But there's tons of stuff that he did up here. So I'm going to show you my profile. So that's my profile now. And I'll show you from this side. It's much more forward than it used to be. Also, before the surgery, it was really uncomfortable for me to put my mouth together and breathe through my nose. Like typically, if your face is symmetrical, or the way it should be, is that you can easily keep your lips together. Well, because the way my jaws were all out of whack before, I had quite a bit of a space between my lips when I would be naturally sleeping or just breathing. So now it's really easy and comfortable for me to naturally close my lips and breathe through my nose, which is the way it's supposed to be. So this is an actual model that TMJ Concepts creates when you get the customized joints. They create a 3D model of your entire like skull based on the MRI that you send them. And so here you can see this is where the joint would be, and this is where he also had to attach. So the joint comes in two pieces. It's like, I think the condyle and then the joint. Maybe I'll mess that up, but anyway, it's two pieces. And then they go in, they cut you through here and also here on each side. So I've got a scar here, 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 and here. But I think the scars are looking really good for 19 days. So, I don't have any makeup covering my scars. So you can see here. And then, I don't know if you can see if there's any scars even by my ear. But he did a really good job with that. So I wanted to show you all that. Also, I'm still, so I had my surgery February 1st, which is a Thursday, and I was in the hospital for 6 days, and then I was released the following Wednesday. For me, there was post-surgery, there was a lot of nausea from getting the pain meds. I was throwing up a lot of blood from my stomach. I also had a hard time kind of going back to the bathroom again, so we had to kind of work with that, just being honest. But I had an amazing helpers with my niece, Tate Smith, and Dina Nicely, my best friend, and both of those are nurses, and they really got me up and moving, but also let me rest. And Baylor staff was incredible. They're so used to working with Dr. LeFort's patients that they know how to kind of work with you. Unfortunately, he did not have to band me after my surgery, so I was able to have a really great opening immediately after surgery that was so much better than before. So I was able to start using, I use condiment bottles. I just threw them all away, so I'm not showing them to you, but they're just the regular like ketchup, mustard condiment bottles in order to put soups and cream of wheat and things like that inside, and then I could just squeeze it, because the first week you can't, really first 2 weeks, you really can't use a straw because you have sutures all up in here and you don't want to mess with that. So I use the condiment bottles, which were so important and so needed if you go into the hospital. And I also use the long syringes. So, excuse me, I want to show you my opening now. So this is just 19 days post-op, so I still have a lot of more stretching and physical therapy to start, which I'll probably start in a couple weeks. But prior to, if you watch the other two videos, you know that I could only open barely the size of a blueberry. And so here's a blueberry. And so this was my previous opening. And now, so that's huge. That's like such a big difference. Right now I can't chew. I can like gum stuff. The blueberries are fine, but I can't have any heavy chewing because the LeFort is still healing. I can't put any pressure on those screws to mess anything like that up. But I also wanted to show, let's see, I used to use a pencil. Previously I could only open the width of a pencil. Now, so when Dr. LeFort measured me before I was released to go home, he measured me at 26 millimeters, and prior to surgery I was at 9. So pretty significant difference there, and he's hoping that I get back up to like a 40-45, which is where I hope to be. So here's a highlighter. I could never get a highlighter. I mean, like who puts a highlighter in their mouth? But this is just how I measure stuff. So that's stretching it. I mean, that's where I am, but that was impossible before. I can now pretty much eat a banana. Almost. Almost. But I could never eat a banana before. I had to cut it up in little tiny pieces. But what I'm really happy about, I know you all probably don't care about this stuff, but I'm going to show you anyway because I get really excited. Prior to this surgery, I'd actually stopped going out to eat with people because I could only use like my toddler's spoon and fork, and then it got to the point where I couldn't even use my 2-year-old's spoon and fork to get stuff in my mouth because my opening was so small that the spoon and fork wouldn't even fit in. So it really was impeding my functionality and going out and having dinner with people. It was just because you end up spilling your food everywhere. But now I can have, this is like a regular adult spoon. It's got yogurt on it because I'm just eating soft foods, but isn't that awesome? So anyway, it's the little things that get me excited, but so worth it. The surgery is so worth it. The recovery, I have to say, is difficult. I get really fatigued. I'm still on pain pills. I take hydrocodone, 1 in the morning, 1 at night before bed. And then I also have ibuprofen, 800 milligrams, and like liquid children's Motrin that I intersperse during the day. So I'm going to try and cut back on the pain pills. But now that the numbing is starting to wear off on my face from the long-term numbing from the surgery, I'm feeling the pain more. So I can't drive, which is why I'm so grateful to my parents. My mom is still staying with me, and my toddler, and she's driving us around and taking my toddler to daycare and things like that. And my dad is helping out as well. Tremendous help. So I go back to see Dr. Wolford in 2 months. I'll fly back to Dallas and get a checkup. I have to see my orthodontist once a week for the next 4 weeks to make sure that my bite is still good. Both Dr. Wolford and my ortho have been really pleased with the bite, that stayed really on point. But I have to see him once a week. And after that, then he will determine when my braces will get to come off. But probably I'll have my braces for at least another 3 or 4 months. So I'll do another update after I go see Dr. Wolford in another 2 months to kind of just update everyone and keep you posted. And hopefully I won't be quite as swollen. And but as far as feelings go, a lot of times there's risks with, I'll finish up with this, with joint and any maxillofacial surgery with your nerves and your muscles. So I'm really happy to say that I still have both eyebrows working pretty well. I can do my face. I can smile. I can switch my nose. The only thing I can't do really, I can't pucker my lip very well. Kind of funny. This is completely numb. I can't feel any of this at all. And all of this really from below my eyes to about here. Just completely, I can't feel it at all. So that's slowly, it feels tingly, but so I feel that, so that's good. Anyway, just wanted to update you, and I'll see you again in 2 months. And I think that's it. I hope you guys are doing great. Leave a comment if you have any questions about the recovery, the surgery, anything like that. I'll try to answer them. If not in the comments, then at least I'll try to answer them in the next video. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.